how to send better emails. So I'm just going to give you some quick tips here before we jump into our Q&A of things that I've found are relatively easy to add to your email marketing strategy. Okay. Number one, focus on clicks, not opens. So there have been stories going around for years about how, if you have links or too many links in your email, you'll go to spam, you go to promotions. And sure, there's probably some truth to that, especially with lousy emails. But if you never get people clicking your emails, they're certainly never going to click a link to book a discovery call, to sign up for your webinar, to buy your product, right? So you really need to focus on clicks. Now, the other part of this, though, is that because of all the new privacy settings and restrictions that are coming out worldwide, a lot of email programs are marking emails as opened, even if they never opened it. And a lot of email programs are not showing you that it was opened, even if they did open it. So open rates in terms of information are not accurate really at all anymore, from what I understand. I don't claim this to be my level of, my area of expertise, but, certainly you can watch your open rates. And if you normally get 20 and you get one that got 60, well, that's a good thing. But really focus on clicks and encouraging people to click. You are training them then to click when it's time to buy. This goes for anything that you write to make them feel. So I never think, what do I want them to say? What do I want to say? I think, what do I want them to feel when they read this? Write curiosity-based subject lines. There is a lot of science and strategies around what should go in your subject lines, and curiosity. And we've talked about this in Social Media Leads Lab with the idea of the brain gap. When somebody is curious, they will go to great efforts to close that gap in their brain. This is what Hollywood uses in movies and TV shows all the time. Oh, I wonder who killed them, or whatever. Why did this happen? Those open loops make us physically uncomfortable, and we want to close them. So write curiosity-based subject lines. And we can talk more about that in the Q&A if people have more questions about that. Split test your subject lines. Here's a great piece of advice that I never follow, but most email programs will give you an opportunity to have more than one subject line. And the way that it works is, and you have to, a decent number of people on your list to do this, but the way that it works is you would send out the email to 10% of your list with one subject line, 10% of your list with the other subject line, and then 4 hours later, whichever one got the most clicks or opens or whatever you're measuring on would get the winning subject line. So it's just kind of a neat little tool that don't let it take away from your workflow. That's why I haven't bothered doing it. I'm already sending, five emails a week. And then ask for replies. I was actually talking to one of our Leads Lab members this week, and she said, yeah, I asked for a reply, and I didn't get any replies. There's a few things you can do around this, but the biggest thing is make the question as easy to answer as possible. Would you be interested in this? Please hit reply with just yes or no. That's great. Tell me how this would be interesting to you, or tell me how this would be valuable to you. That's a much longer answer, right? So if you're going to ask for replies, just yes or no, or A, B, or C, or things like that. If they want to send more, that's totally fine. But replies are great to get because it helps with the talking phase, but also people who open, click, and reply to your emails, your deliverability is going to go way up, and you're much less likely to go to spam and promotions and places like that we don't want to be. Tease your next email. If you are organized enough, and I don't do this all the time, but if you're organized enough, at the end of one email, you can tell them what the next email is going to be about. You can even tell them what the subject line is going to be. Our brains and our eyes recognize things that are familiar. And so if we know the subject line, like if I said to you, hey, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow, and the subject line is going to be Superman whiteboard. I'm just naming things around me. When that pops up, you're going to go, oh, that's that email that he mentioned. So it's a really effective way to get people to continue to open your email. So if it takes a little bit of organization, could be a week later. Hey, if it's weekly. Hey, next Friday, I'm going to email you such and such. It's just a really powerful way to get more people to open your emails, and that obviously leads to all good things. Okay, so and then be consistent. Consistency makes a big difference. If you can, and this again, another area where I'm kind of hypocritical. I still write my daily emails every morning, pretty much. I get up at 5, I write my email, and then I go hike. Some days the email gets out at 5:09. Sometimes it's 5:40 my time. So it's not, it's not completely consistent, but it is consistent generally, the 5 days a week. And then this is another big one. Get the right people in the first place. Okay. If you fill your list with the wrong people by doing iPad giveaways or whatever it might be, email list swaps with other people, generally what's going to happen is you're going to have the wrong people on there. And that doesn't help anybody. So it really is quality over quantity. And so focus on getting the right people in the first place. All right. We're going to jump into Q&A. Here are the links that I mentioned. If you want to look at any of these, dateyourfollowers.com. You can see one of my lead magnets, which is my webinar, dailysocialmediatips.com. That's another one of my lead magnets, if you want to call it that, but it's a way for people to opt into my list. And then 5minutesocialmedia.com/convertkit or /MailerLite. If you want to try those free plans out, that would be amazing.